Hello world, how's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great. So I'm here with Brian Dahlberg of
Hey, guys.
Aquatic Support Systems, right?
That's my company, Aquatic Support Systems. YouTube channel is Brian's Fish Tanks. Go check it out.
So he invited me here at his own personal home, and he's got some absolutely amazing tanks, saltwater and freshwater, huge fish, little fish, shrimp, a little bit of everything, planted aquariums, all kinds of stuff. So let's get right into this and show you what's going on. All right, so we're in your office section here, right?
Yep, this is the office. Just got a couple tanks in here. Got a 90-gallon planted tank over here with some cardinal tetras and then just some fire red shrimp. Growing some Monte Carlo and some Erio Vietnam and some Fissidens. The Fissidens starting to get mixed in with the Monte Carlo, so probably rip that out soon. But
And this is really wild how you have your Erio growing here. You're growing that without substrate, right?
yeah, it's just stuck in between the oikostone there.
It is wild.
And I really don't fertilize too much. I squirt whatever the recommended dose of the Corey stuff in the tank once a week, and then I run CO2 and it's growing just fine.
Yeah, it's beautiful carpet. That is thick. It's real thick.
Yeah, it is. And I just trimmed it too. It was a lot thicker.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I don't spend a lot of time maintaining this tank, really. Just don't have the time, so.
Really cool to know that that's a no substrate plant.
Yeah.
I love those cardinals. Very cool. And then you got some shrimp down here as well.
Yep. Got some galaxies down there. Just got those recently. I think there's like 10 or 12 of them down there.
Very nice. Those are one of my favorite carradinias.
Yeah, they're fun.
And I like how you have it built into your stand. Like you took one door off and then added the trim to create that. Very cool.
Yeah.
And you did the same thing with this stand over here.
Yep. I got a 20 long down there. Just figure why waste space, and so I put a couple shrimp tanks down underneath these, and got some blue boats rolling in there.
And up here you got these big fish.
Yeah, these are the Midas pair. This is Cheeto. Everyone that follows my channel knows this fish pretty well. He's kind of the channel star, I guess, if you will.
Okay, kind of like your mascot.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So he's about a 6 or 7 year old Amphilophus citronellus, and then his female there is probably just 3 or 4 years old, maybe.
All right, now I got something for you salties too. As you guys saw in the intro, he does saltwater as well, and these tanks are absolutely beautiful, and it would be a shame to not share these with you guys. So
yeah. So this is a 125 gallon. I've had this going for about 2.5 years. Just a kind of a mixed reef tank. This island over here is mostly softies and LPS, and then the smaller island on the right or on the left side is SPS, more of the stick type coral. And then I got a few different types of tangs in there and some various other fish. Magnificent foxface, some wrasses, stuff like that. Still learning the saltwater world for sure, but I've been having a little more success lately than not, so that's always a good thing. I say that though, and something will probably crash on me.
So you're living and learning.
Yeah, for sure.
As it goes with this hobby.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. Been doing salt for about 5 years. Started with a little Coralite BioCube, then I went up to this one, and then I replaced the BioCube with the other tank that you'll show in a minute here.
And it just catches your eye so quick when you come in here. The colors in this, it's just popping.
Oh, I should have given you my little filter clip.
Oh, you got. All right, sweet. You gave me a filter clip for these, so now you guys can see the color a lot better. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. Can you guys tell I'm already starting to get the salty bug?
Pretty soon he'll have 200 saltwater tanks.
All right, and you got another one over here?
Yeah, this is a Red Sea, what is it? The Red Sea Max E260. So it's a 3-foot tank, and it's, I think, a 59-gallon display with a 12-gallon sump, and then a 12-gallon behind sump, which I'm not running. It's got water in it, but the sump I upgraded to having one below the tank. But this has been set up just since, I think, July or August probably, and Doing fairly good.
I love looking into this tank because the more you look into it, the more things you find. Like the little snails around, the shrimp hiding about, the other little corals that are tucked in here and there.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about saltwater is if you've got like a cleanup crew and, you know, shrimp and everything in it, there's always action going on day or night. You know, at night, way more of the snails come out and stuff, and it's really cool.
Then you got all the different colors within them, like even the snails with their blue legs and stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then like little fish hiding here and there.
Yeah, that hawkfish there, I don't know if you know anything about those, but they don't have swim bladders.
Oh, really?
So they are always, if they're swimming, they're in the water column, but otherwise they will sit on a rock or of some sort.
Guess that makes sense.
They don't like stay.
That way they don't have to keep using their energy to stay afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could almost just keep this on this tank here and just let it run. So beautiful.
It's fun to have right here too, because when I watch TV, I sit in this chair and then I can see the tank and my TV.
Yeah, that's a nice setup. Now that's living right there. Dan, he's been awesome showing me around to all these fish rooms. All right, so that was upstairs. Now downstairs into the main fish room.
This is where all the chaos is.
Yeah. Check it out. LRB poster.
Oh yeah.
Represent.
Love that at Aquashella, I think, or one of those festivals.
Big tanks, big fish. Big fish. So awesome. All right, where do we begin? You even got tanks over in the corner.
Yeah, so
I guess we'll start over there.
Shrimp tanks, smallest you can get, all the way up to my big cichlids. It's kind of a one extreme to the other. I always tell people.
And you do a lot of the events too. That's why you have like the stuffies and stuff around you sell at the events. And
Yeah, and on my website, I sell mainly like fish food and aquarium products. A lot of shrimp stuff really, but been dabbling in these stuffed toys lately. People like them.
Oh yeah.
They stick to the tank too. They got a little suction cup on.
Very cool. Now I wish I could go individually with you guys on all these tanks as far as the shrimp. Everything. There is a lot of them. Wow, look at these. Crystal blacks.
Yeah, that's the crystal black colony. They're rolling along pretty well.
Yeah, they're doing real well. And what are these down here? Are these the
That's just kind of a mixed Thai V tank that I've just over time. I started with a royal blue tiger and a PRL, and got some Thai Vs, and then I've just been taking like pinto calls out of there and pulling them in, and there's all sorts of colors and patterns in there now.
And over here.
So I got a few 75 gallons here, and then I breed some of these cichlids too, so I got some grow out tanks. I don't have a lot going on right now with the grow outs, but I'll do this chair for you.
Who's this guy up here?
So that's a Amphilophus trimaculatus, or people just call him Trimax. He killed his wife, so he's alone now.
Oh, good boy.
Yeah. He's a little too hyper for her.
I like how you got the stickers of fish and stuff.
Yeah, girl I know, Dodie Wieners, she's kind of gotten out of the hobby, but she was known pretty well nationally. She makes those, and I don't know if she does anymore, but they're just little decals and pretty cool.
Yeah.
Out of here.
I love it.
So these are some Midas cichlids that I actually spawned, and I've been growing them out for about a year now. Their parents are behind you. This pair over here. So those are Amphilophus citronellus or Midas cichlids, just like the one upstairs that we saw before. And I have gotten those to breed, and so these are some that I'm just growing them out for myself, not to really sell, just because the parents are getting older, so they probably won't be around too much longer. So I'd like to have kind of the next generation.
Yeah, be prepared.
Yep. So
And
that's,
this is a 2 125s, double 120s?
these are
Or
210s actually.
210s, yeah, they
old-
go deeper, don't
The
they?
old Oceanic. They're 7 foot, and then they're, I think, 2 feet deep. And they are just tanks, man. They were the hardest tanks to get into this house. I mean, the bottom glass literally is an inch thick.
Wow.
So they are just heavy.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Bought him from a buddy that got out of the hobby, and we had to carry him up a flight of stairs out of his place and then down into this basement. It's a nightmare.
I like how you were able to stack them on top of each other, though.
Yeah, saves a little space. That's kind of what I try to do with most of my tanks, just to get more in there. Make some stands where you can do a double. Those down there are umbies, Chronoheros umberiferum from the Rio Magdalena River. That's an F1 pair. The male, the big blue guy, he's actually, he came from this other pair over here who are wild caught, and so that's their, one of the spawn from them.
Okay.
These guys are
He's
getting
their
old.
baby boy.
Yeah, he's their baby boy, and then it's an unrelated female in there, so that when they do spawn for me, I don't have, you know, quote unquote inbreeding going on.
That's good. Some people won't bother to take that step.
Yeah.
It's good to know people that do.
And they're getting ready to spawn. You can just tell by the way he's head shaking.
Yeah, he's like, get back. I'm trying.
She's when she's kind of more yellowish or goldish color like that, that means that it's about time to go. Normally she'd be a lot more blue if she wasn't in spawning mode or pre-spawning mode.
They usually spawn out in these pots, or
Yep. It's kind of why
they lay them on the bottom or the top, or how do they usually do
bottom or sides usually,
Okay.
but it gives them. They like to. Most cichlids, like these bigger ones, they like to lay on a smooth surface, and they like to be in a cave. So the flower pot kind of gives both of those things to them. Lets them feel like they're in a cave and it's a smooth surface.
I don't think he's too happy with me being that close.
He likes to bite at people a little bit. I don't know if he'll do it now or not.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna eat you. Man, look at him swim. I bet he can get going if he really wanted to, huh?
Yeah. I think it's feeding time. I'll drop in. Where's the food over here?
Hear that? It's so personable. Hey. Feedings are always fun. I think that's one of the funnest parts about the hobby is feeding your fish.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool with the cichlids. It just gives you a chance to kind of interact with them too, you know.
Absolutely beautiful. And over here is that breeding pair, right?
Yeah, so this is the wild caught pair of umbies that spawned, the one you were just looking at. I didn't grow these out. I bought them from a buddy when he got out of the hobby, but they're getting pretty old and they're not in the best shape anymore. They pick on each other a lot, so there's a lot of nips and tail or fin nipping going on, and even to their bodies. The female's got a permanent eye injury on the other eye. You can't see it right now, but
Yeah. You can see the age.
yeah, he definitely
It happens.
can. But he's a big boy. He measures in at, I think, close to 24 inches.
Wow.
He doesn't look as big as he really is in this 8-foot tank, but
Right. How? So what is this? Like 300?
that's a 300 acrylic. Yeah.
Okay.
So 8 foot. I'm not sure what the height and depth. I think it's a 2-foot depth. I'm not sure on the height, but
It's a big tank.
yeah.
What you got over here?
So these are Amphilophus retislatus. They're a pair that I've had since they were less than an inch. I started with a group of them, and these two kind of paired off and became the more dominant ones. And that's the male you're looking at. He's got a massive nuchal hump on
It's
him.
humongous.
It's a little bit dinged up because she'll go in those tubes and then he tries to get in there and he
can't fit
a little
his
scarring on it, but
can't fit his nuchal in there, huh?
yeah. But these are related to the Midas. They're Amphilophus species, but a little bit different shape and color.
Now, do they use these fish with creating the flower horns?
The flower horn typically is the cichlid that they use is the trimac, which was that guy up on top over there that you over there. And then I forget what they breed it with. If it's I can't even remember what other cichlid they use to make the flower horn. But these guys really like to chow down too.
Wow, to watch it move with that big
Yeah.
eagle, huh? It's almost like it's leading them. So wild. It's that face. It's so different. Alright, and then down here.
So down
That's
there,
another man. So what? Okay, I gotta ask you the sizes here. What size is this one, and what size is this?
these are both 180s.
Okay.
Yep. And
I thought I was ballsy stacking 125s, but
that you just got to make the stands so they withhold the weight, you know, and
beef them up, right?
right.
Because yeah, you've got, man, these are solid legs on here with a nice solid top.
Yeah.
Definitely over-engineered, I'm sure.
Yeah, like over here you can get a real good view, you know, two by sixes. So you got one on the side that goes into the wood, and then one here that holds up the 2x6. So,
Right.
And then I've in the back there's one too to hold it up.
Yeah.
I think they're not going anywhere.
Very nice. So it can be done, guys.
Yeah. Stack your tanks, save space.
Yeah. Keep more fish.
Yeah.
All right, and down here.
So down there is, I'm actually moving this fish on here pretty soon, but that's just a female Haitiensis. Her male got a hole in the head and died a few weeks ago. So he was a really super nice looking fish, so it's kind of a bummer that he died. So now that I don't have a male for her, I'll move her on to somebody who might need a female, and then I got some fry in this tank, and then I've got some in one of my grow out tanks, so I'll just grow out some new ones. And this line was already inbred, so I don't have a problem doing it again. So I'll just use the fry that I grow out and eventually find a male and female and get another pair down the road. But if the male was in there, she would be like jet black right now because of the, you know, male-female interaction or whatever. But her colors are kind of faded because she's just alone.
Well, might as well turn over down here.
That's another, so that's 180 gallon as well, and that's another Trimac, and then the female's over on the other side of the divider.
So these are your breeders?
Yeah, they're...
Are you conditioning them by dividing them, or just keeping them from fighting?
Well, what had happened actually, so that female that you're looking at was paired up with the first Trimac you looked at, and he was picking on her. They actually did breed, but he was picking on her so much that I pulled him out, put a different one in, and since they're new to each other, I just wanted to keep them divided for a few weeks, and then I'll introduce them to each other and hopefully get a breeding pair out of them.
And she seems more timid than the male does.
Yeah. She's
backing
she's
up.
already a
He's
little
like,
timid.
feed me.
Yeah. I think she's a lot more timid too, just because she was getting beat on pretty good.
Right,
If you would have been
right.
here a week ago.
Once bitten, twice shy, right?
Yeah, exactly. But she's healing up, and I'm hoping to be able to pair these guys up together. And
Use PVC to frame up the screen.
yep.
And more shrimp over here, huh?
Yeah, got some red pintos in that tank.
Scoot over here. Red pintos. Oh yeah, you got some nice ones in here. Beautiful. Nice flame moss. Looks like.
I forget, honestly. No, I think it is. It's that pointed spear moss.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it is a little different from flame moss, isn't it? Yeah. It's not as curvy.
I'm not even about to try to pronounce the scientific name, but I got it over. It was in a different tank before, so I have the name written over there. Those are just some blue bulbs, and I got some of that hooker ace moss growing.
Yeah, hooker eyes are working really well for you in here.
Yeah.
I've always had troubles with it, the hair algae getting on it.
Oh,
Like,
do you?
yeah, but you don't have a whole lot of light on there. It's pretty dim, and this one's shaded big time.
Yeah.
These little moss ledges are working good for you.
Yeah, they do all right. Haven't had any. I mean, the stuff's grown quite a bit since I got it.
Very nice.
I bought that from Eric Lucas maybe 2 months ago or something like that.
Up there we had the breeding termites, and then you also got some. Oh, what are those? The red hooks.
Yeah, red hook silver dollars. Just got a few of those in there to, I guess, act as dithers or whatever.
Keep them kind of comfortable.
Yeah.
Very nice. And more tanks.
This is the last of them over here, but got some more cichlids and some more shrimp. That's one of my Flowerhorns up there. That's a what's called a red magma. Just a male in there by himself. I've never tried to breed Flowerhorns. I got two that I just kept for show or whatever, wet pets.
Man.
He's not too aggressive for whatever reason. The one
But
behind
he's
you,
big.
though.
I was trying to give like a size
Oh,
comparison. That nuchal, like, that's a handful.
I don't know if you think that is, turn around.
Oh yeah? What's behind me? Holy moly, look at that nuchal.
This is a King Comfa
It's more than a
9.9.
handful.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Look at that chin.
Got
Just
some real
wanna
nice
scratch his
patterns.
little chin.
Nuchal humps, massive.
That's the cool thing about Flowerhorns, it's just their personality and
Yeah. He's usually pretty aggressive. I don't know if he's not liking the camera or what,
don't take my picture.
but he's usually a pretty aggressive eater.
And I noticed you got a Pleco in most all your tanks too. Is that your cleanup crew then?
Yeah, I usually just grab like commons or bristlenose because they will actually eat some of the algae, you know, and
Yeah.
junk.
Put in the work.
Yeah.
Never too shy to eat though, right? And down here below him.
So that's a Feste male that I'm about to get rid of, but I had a really nice female and they were paired up and I don't know how old they were, but they were really nice, and now she ended up jumping out of the tank through a little teeny slit in the back, and I found her dried up and dead like 2 days later because I wasn't around.
That's always sad.
So his coloration, since she's gone, has just gone way down too. I mean, he kind of looks cool, but he almost looks bluish right now, but that's not his normal color. Normally he's like gold and red.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So he looks
it's like a
completely
total different fish.
Man, that's wild how fish can do that.
Yeah.
Just totally change their color.
So he's just been sulking since she's been gone.
Poor fella.
Kind of hangs out in that corner there.
Yeah, it's crazy how they always manage to find that one little crack, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Just goes to show they're not dumb fish.
You know, behind you here, I got these are a red tiger Motaguens pair. They're called Rio Blancos. They're bred by a guy named Sean Hyden out of Oklahoma, and he's really well known for this line of fish. And his always have way better coloration than anyone else's Motas.
So, this a female and that's a male?
Big one's the male,
Oh.
and the female's the one with the more color.
Wow.
They've only been paired up for about a month. I had another female, and he ended up killing her, and then buddy of mine, James Randall, ended up getting his male died, so he gave me his female, and now I've paired them up, and they spawned once, but the fry didn't make it, and they're kind of showing like they're possibly getting ready here again.
Must like the camera.
She really holds her own, and
Yeah, it
tells him
looks
who's
like
boss.
it looks like it, just pushing them around.
Yeah.
No, I need you in here, into the pot. Like, I don't wanna.
Yeah.
It's so fun to just watch those behaviors. Oh, he's going. Oh no.
I'm thinking within the week they hopefully will be spawning again, so that would be cool.
She seems like she wants to.
She's actually, you know, look at his tail fin and stuff. She's really done a number on him.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he's a super aggressive fish on his own.
She got the love bites. Beautiful fish. And above this, you got more shrimp tanks, right?
Yep. Got a few more tanks up here. We got, those are some fancy red tigers. They're pretty low grade, but they've been breeding for me. There's a bunch of babies in there.
So you got Disco Bee here. Shout out to Eric Martins.
Yeah. And those shrimp came from Eric Lucas at Buy Pet
Okay.
Shrimp.
Some crystal reds.
Yeah, those are some PRLs actually, but
Okay.
I lost almost the entire colony. It was down to like 5 shrimp, and then I just saw some babies in there the other day, so hopefully we can rebuild.
I like the Bush and the Cholo wood combo there.
Yeah, that works out good. Just kind of jam it in one of the holes. And
Sounds like a bad joke. And then in here you got
those are some black pintos.
Very cool. And you let your algae grow on the side too. I like to do the
Yeah.
same so they can just pick at it.
Yeah, with the shrimp tanks, it's
Yeah.
just might
That's
as
what
well.
they like, right?
Yeah. Those are just some crystal reds, kind of lower, like A through S grade or whatever. I've had this colony for, I don't know, 5 years, and they just continue to prolifically breed for me. So recently added some different blood in there, but most of it's all just started from like 10 or 15 shrimp 5 years ago. You know? I got some pretty cool super crystal reds right there too in that tank.
Oh, I didn't even see these. Oh yeah. What? Oh wow. They're everywhere. Man, this one's almost solid red.
Yeah.
With just a little white on the brow.
Yeah, there's some different grades in there for sure. Some have like 3 stripes almost, 2, 1. I guess what are they calling the ones with the 1 on the head now? Santa Claus or
Yeah,
something?
Santa Claus shrimp. I actually had some of those going at some point, and then I stuck fish in the tank.
No, okay.
I have a problem with doing that.
It happens.
I get impatient with the caradinas sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah. Look at this little guy peeping out of the sponge filter. Peekaboo. And underneath here you got more shrimp.
So yeah, that's a mixed Taiwan bee tank. There's a lot right now of kind of pinkish or whitish looking plain ones. They came from some red bolts that were in there, and they just didn't produce real good colors, so I got to cull them out of there. But otherwise, it's a mix of like blue bolts and BKKs and pandas and shadow pandas down there.
Is that a galaxy in there too? Looks like.
It's possible.
Down there, yeah. Looks like it's got the. Did we get it all?
That's everything, yeah.
All right. All right, so there you have it. There's Brian's fish room. Absolutely amazing. Some really cool fish you got in here.
Yeah, thanks.
And,
Appreciate you stopping by.
Glad you had me over.
Yeah. Everybody out there, if you don't know who I am, check out my channel, Brian's Fish Tanks. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, but more than that, check out Lucas's channel if you're new, and subscribe to him too, man.
And you do a Facebook group and stuff too, don't you?
I've got a Brian's Fish Tanks Facebook page, and then there's a kind of a related, hard to explain, but there's a Facebook group called Aquatic Support Systems, or Aquatic Support Community, I'm sorry. That's a good one to check out too. And then my website, Aquatic Support Systems, if you're looking for fish or shrimp food, that type of stuff.
And you're part of the Minnesota Aquarium Society too, aren't you?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm a board member, and so yeah, if anybody locally in Minnesota is watching this and you haven't come to our meetings, you know, check us out. We had Lucas in last night as a speaker. That's why he's in town, and got a lot of great speakers coming up, like Rob from Flip Aquatics, Jimmy, from Aquarium Co-op and that, and stuff like that. So yeah, check us out.
Awesome. Yeah, big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for having me here.
Absolutely.
And thank you for giving me the tour. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. We enjoyed having you.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys liked this. If you did, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button. That'd be awesome. And tells YouTube that you liked it, and it will help out the channel. Subscribe. That'd be great. You know, all that YouTube jazz that we ask.
Yeah.
Because it is important. It helps us, and
Sure.
it helps the hobby as well, not just us. It helps him, it helps the hobby, it helps the fish, it helps us all. So we appreciate you guys watching this video. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great one. Till next time, peace everybody.
See you later.